Hello, hello, hello. Happy day, people. This is Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am Sean Johnson.
I am Tracy Davis-Johnson.
And our podcast is about having conversations with people 50 and over, where they're talking about their wealth, their health, and their life changes. So like, share, and subscribe. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am your host, Sean Johnson.
And I am Tracy Davis-Johnson.
And we are so hyped. We are so hyped about this last week. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
Yes.
We had the best conversation with one of our natives from Waterbury. His name is Dr. James Manny, right?
Listen, we just gonna show y'all.
Yes, he wrote the book, Heirs of the Great Migration, How the Past Became the Future. And wow.
It was one of our best interviews that we've done, not to belittle anything we've done previously, but it was very empowering, very enlightening. We had a wonderful conversation.
Yes. Oh my goodness gracious. So you all got to look out for it. We already dropped the first part of it. Part one is on our podcast, You're 50 Now What? And check that out. Follow us, share, comment, cop the book. Get the book.
How about that? Go get the book.
Get the book.
New York Times bestseller. Yes.
He's going to be in Waterbury on June 10th. So if you don't know, come down to Waterbury. I don't know where you are and where you hail from, but if you are from Waterbury and you're local, you need to be here on June 10th to meet this author.
Listen,
the story,
learn. Yes.
The story was so amazing. And not because, we can relate.
Definitely.
Because we were born and raised here, so we definitely knew some of the things that he was talking about. It brought back memories.
Forgot about some of the things that he talked about, but like you said, it brought back memories.
Yeah, it brought back memories. So, I can't wait.
Yes, like Sean said, go listen to the first episode that we've already dropped. Second episode coming next week. It was just like talking to an old friend. Yes. It was not, anything restraining, anything where you had to be nervous about. We really enjoyed that conversation we had with him.
Well, that's what we're all about, right? Having real conversations with real people.
That's it.
And even with ourselves, just having real conversations, because there's not, it just so people could just say, listen.
Be themselves.
Right.
Let your hair down.
That's it. Be you. And that's what we're trying to do, is be ourselves.
No judgment, Joan. No judgment.
Yeah, at over 50. That's what I love the most about it, is we are both over 50 years old. And Manny just turned 50.
Yes.
The author turned 50. So he's our first male on the podcast. Right. I told you we were going to sprinkle in some males.
Yes.
We're going to sprinkle them in. So he's our first. And we're so excited about that. He turned 50 in January, I believe he said. He just turned 50, so it was so appropriate for this, for our tea and cornbread. So hopefully we can do a post conversation with him after he does the book signing and things like that, to like kind of bring together, how he interviewed with us and what he felt from the energy of people in person. I'm excited about that.
Yes, and we need you to come out. Come out. We always talk about there's nothing going on, no positivity around us. This definitely is a positive thing.
Yes.
Read the book. Get the book.
Absolutely. Heirs of the Great Migration, How the Past Became the Future, by Dr. James Manny Wright. You can find it on Amazon. And also, like I said, he's going to be in Waterbury on June 10th at 11 a.m. at Post University downtown. Just show up. Bring your book with you to have it signed.
Yes.
He has merchandise, T-shirts, and hoodies with the title on it and everything. So
and he has his website too. You can get it from.
Right. Yep. All right. Cool. All right. So.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So Our next conversation is going to be on mental health.
Yes,
And because May is Mental Health Month, um, it's also Domestic Violence Month. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah, it's also Domestic Violence Month. Um, what is it about mental health? That's the buzzword now and everything, right?
Yeah.
And
Buzzwords.
we as Black women, we just move. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
just keep going. We push through. We don't stop and
Mm-hmm.
breathe. One of the things that the stigma of going to therapy for Black people, I don't know if it's much of a stigma as it was back in the day, but I find that when I'm asking people when coaching, a lot of times it's beyond my scope. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where they want to have a conversation as if it's like a counseling session, and I am not
Mm-hmm.
a counselor. I'm
Right.
not a counselor, but at the same time, I know it's effective for some because some people don't have that outlet. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have that outlet to speak to someone to just get things off their chest, or to brain dump, or to just talk to someone that's not biased to whatever it is that they're stressed about. What I'm finding now, too, in this age group, we are caregivers.
Oh,
you know
definitely.
we're caregivers, and family comes together. Some family come together to help caring for their loved one,
Mm-hmm.
and then some is just they can have 10 brothers and sisters, but it always falls
On
on
that
one.
one. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
falls on that one. And when I have this conversation with a person that they feel that they're the only ones that's doing, um, mental health is key to keeping them straight.
But I
you
think
know
we forget about that though. Mental health is key, but when you are, and I'll speak for myself, probably that glue, that person that is being looked to help, to cater to take care of someone, you forget about it. So
Yeah.
when you get to that point where you feel like you are breaking or you can't take it anymore, no one gets it because you're supposed to be so strong.
Right.
You're supposed to always keep your head up, your shoulders back. And when you do say, hey, I need help, people kind of look at you with a crooked eye. You got this. You
Right. It's like,
strong.
what you mean you need help, right?
Exactly.
Because you're not the one that
Exactly.
falls apart in front of anybody.
Exactly.
You're not the one that complains. You're not
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
that call people for help.
I don't
You know
think
what I
that's a
mean?
good thing on our parts, though.
It's not. It
Very
really isn't.
bad.
So when we talk about community in the
Yes.
village,
Yes.
we kind of we I don't know, we don't practice what we
We don't
preach.
practice what we preach. We're quick to say to someone else, if you need help, let me know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
need help, we
yeah.
don't let
We
people
don't.
know.
Yep. I'm good. I'm good. That's
Yes.
how
Yes.
many people say I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm fine. No, I'm good.
We both have done it.
All the
We've done it
time.
in our loss. We tend to
Mm-hmm.
run from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say any specific loss that we've had, but we've had some, close family members, like Sean has said. And I tried to get to her, and she was always busy. And they tried to get to me, and I was always running because I had to do it. But I didn't have to do it alone.
Right. It
And
didn't
that's
have
what
to.
we have to remember.
So that's yeah. That. So one of the things I tell people all the time, I said, therapy. I use therapy for maintenance now. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So therapy definitely is um, pivotal. Not pivotal. That's not the word I want to use. It's crucial to
Mm-hmm.
having as part of your tool.
Yep.
In your toolbox. In your
Yep.
toolbox, we should have a toolbox for mental health, a toolbox for healthy living. Period. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And a therapist should be in your
Part of
toolbox.
your daily living, unfortunately.
Yes, not unfortunate. No, fortunately, not
Fortunate, yeah. You're
unfortunately.
right. You're right.
But yeah, having that therapist in your Rolodex, where
Nothing wrong with it.
at all.
It's
And the other thing I have to say, because when people try therapy, right? What I'm finding when people try therapy, they try it and they go, it didn't help me. I didn't feel no better when I left there, this, that, and other. I didn't like the person or whatever. You have to keep trying until you
Yeah.
click with that person.
Right.
You got to find it. So, and it depends on what part of what you need it for. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, when I was in my 30s, let me tell you, like, my 30s was the worst parts of my life, I believe. You know what I mean? As far as just life in general.
Okay.
Like the most stressful part in my life, right? And when going to therapy, when I sought it out, I went to my pastor,
Okay.
which was helpful, right?
Mhm.
But here I am, fast forward in my late 30s, going into my 40s, I needed it again, and that's when my hormones were out of whack and I needed surgery and all kinds of stuff. And so I went somewhere else. And when I went to that other person, it was okay at that moment, but to me, it wasn't helpful, right? So I looked for another, and so you have to until you find that one or till you find, because when we're going through these mental challenges or these stressful challenges, you may need a different type of person for that thing, whatever that is, right?
I think not to interrupt you, but I think a part of that too, not only you may go through a few different therapists, also you have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to talk to said person. If you're going in there and you're sitting there and they're, trying to get into you and talk to you and you don't want to open up, you got to look inside.
Time.
Yeah, look inside yourself. You know what I mean? Your first step is that you called and you're looking for somebody.
Right.
Sean is absolutely right. Find that person that you are comfortable with, that you feel is listening to you.
And will give you tools. I don't want somebody to just listen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or agree with me and say,
right.
You're right and your family is wrong. You're right and that other person. Yeah.
I don't want that.
Exactly.
I did find one person and she called me out on my stuff.
Good.
I mean, it gave me homework, and if I didn't do the homework by our next session, she called me out.
And that's what you need.
And that's what
Somebody
I needed.
holding you accountable.
Yeah.
I'm here to help
time,
you. Yes.
Yes. And it was for that moment. You know what I mean? Like I said, depending on what you're going through, different people for different things, right? Or different situations. But she called me. When I tell you called me out, what she made me do is be accountable for my part in what I was bringing. Whatever I was, you know what I'm saying?
Whatever you was going through.
My part.
Yes. Look at
Sean.
You
know what I mean?
Because
we always want to say, yeah, they this and they that.
Right.
I
agree.
Every time I do this, they do this, or, whatever it was, right? And then she would just let me go on my rant. And then she stopped and, and she would say to me, okay, but what was your part in this?
Right.
Did you apologize?
And that's what we need. You
know what I mean?
We definitely need that. And we have our sister friends, we have our family members that we talk to. But I say with me, there's only so much that we let go with certain people. So with a therapist, they don't know you at all.
They don't.
They don't know the other person at all. Yeah. So when you tell that story and they're listening to it, just like Sean said, a good therapist and somebody you connect with is not going to say, Tracy, it was the other person.
Right. They're
Tracy,
not going to stroke you.
You are doing everything right. And another thing Sean said, they are going to give you those tools.
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, I will need you to do this.
Yep.
And if you don't do it,
and
they need to hold you accountable.
Right. You know what else I found intriguing about it too is everything is connected to childhood. Everything is connected to childhood. I don't care if it happened just now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your reaction to whatever that triggered is something that
that
usually
word,
triggered.
That word trigger.
Yeah. Right? But it stems from our childhood. So she had me go back to 5 years old, 10 years old. You know what I mean? And when she did, then she correlated it with what was happening
she showed you.
at that
This
moment.
Is why you're here, because of what you went through in the past. Things that we tend to forget. Things we tend to bury until somebody, like you said, they dig deep and make you remember, hey, this is what happened. And some things I think we do remember, but we still push down because we don't want to talk about it.
So she was talking about how it shaped who we are, how we respond to things. That
Right.
trigger, right?
Right.
And it's not always negative.
No,
It's not always
it's
negative.
not.
But in my case, it was negative,
Okay.
right? How I respond, or how you put a wall up,
Mm-hmm.
right? How you have that wall where you won't let nobody in
Yeah.
because of past, right? And when I tell you she went deep,
Yeah.
man, I sobbed. I was sobbing, but it was so cleansing.
Good.
It was so cleansing, and I'm now able to identify my triggers
Mm-hmm.
and how to um, respond in a different way, and also take responsibility right away.
Right. Right.
Right? Take responsibility right away. We don't want to take responsibility.
Mm-mm.
We
Because
want
we don't think we're wrong.
because we
So
don't think we're
why am
wrong.
I taking responsibility for something that you did?
Right, right.
And you did it to me.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
we don't want to take responsibility.
Nope.
And as we live and as we grow, we just get better.
We get better. The other thing too is looking out there, because one thing that in coaching, and even before this, self-development,
Definitely.
doing self-development classes. There's always workshops out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and self-development is just that. It's
Yeah.
about you.
It's about
not
learning.
about everybody else.
Yep.
It's
Showing
about
yourself
you.
something new,
Yeah.
teaching yourself something new, learning something, definitely learning something new about yourself. Because I think as we become adults, we think we got it. We think we know it, and we don't know it all. Kind of brings you back to being a teenager, where your mom was saying, don't grow up. My mom used to always say, don't grow up too fast. Don't be in a rush to be an adult.
Right.
And I get it now. I didn't get it then because I wanted to be grown. I
Exactly.
can't wait till I get out this house and be grown.
Yep.
Do you know what I would give to go back to live with my mother and father
Man.
and still learn some lessons
Exactly.
and listen a little better? And it's not even that I wasn't listening. I just wanted to be grown. I
Right.
didn't know what the world was.
Exactly.
So we are still learning, still growing, still developing. My father used to always say, you learn something new every day, whether you catch it or not.
Right.
There's something that you didn't know yesterday that
That
you're
you
going to
know-
learn today.
Yeah.
So self-development is awesome.
Mhm.
There's so many different websites out there. There's books out there. There's people you can talk to that can help you do those things. But you have to work on you. You have to be willing to work on self.
There's books. I started in the early 90s reading Iyanla Van Zant's
Mhm.
books, right? I can't watch her though. You know what I
No?
mean? Like to watch her, she drives me nuts. But to read her books, absolutely.
I think I could kind of see that, but we're not. Okay,
yeah,
go
right.
ahead.
I can't watch her,
Yeah.
but to read her books,
Mhm.
and I had to mature with that.
Right.
Because
Right.
even because people go read the Bible. Your grandmothers will tell you read the Bible, and at that time I was in my early 20s. I
Mhm.
didn't know how to read the Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't understand it at
Mhm.
all. But as you mature and as you read, if you want to develop in a different way, and what I mean by that is when we are always responding to certain things the same way, or we always carry ourselves the same way,
Mhm.
or we get intimidated walking in the room, that's because we don't know ourselves,
Mhm.
right? When you get intimidated walking in the room thinking that everybody in the room is smarter than you are or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
don't think that way. Just start working on
Self-doubt.
yourself.
We got to stop.
Yeah,
Self-doubt.
yep. But reading is one of the things that you can start with self-development. Finding those self-help books, that's what they call them, self-help books,
Mhm.
right? Going to the
Mhm.
library or going to the bookstore and looking for that. And even going back to Manny's book, when he was talking about his journey from a knucklehead teenager
Mhm.
to a professor,
I know.
right?
Awesome.
All of that in between. I'm
Mhm.
telling y'all, get that book. I know, it kind of coincides with what we're talking about because he wanted better for himself. He
Exactly.
knew that life would be better.
Mhm.
All he had to do was seek it.
And that's exactly
and
what
then
he
when
did.
you seek it,
Yep.
then what happens is the door opens
Opens up.
and you
Mhm.
attract people that's going to help you.
And that's the key. The people you attract, the people that you're around. Again, going back to our parents telling us, you are the people you hang around with.
Yeah.
And I agree with that to a certain extent because I know that I didn't do everything the people I grew up with did. and they're still my friends today. So you have to either be strong enough to say no, I don't want to indulge, or you're going to go a different way. But I do believe a part of you is, you are the people you hang around with at the end of the day.
So there's a quote that I heard just last week, and it's kind of relevant, but not at the same time. I guess I don't know.
It's
But
relevant. We're talking about
yeah,
it.
the quote is, "Who are you uninterrupted?" Right? That's deep, right? Who are you uninterrupted? And what I mean, when I thought about the first thing I thought about is we have so many distractions. We know what we want to be, but if we're in a room with somebody that quote unquote carries themselves in a way where they got it all together, then we doubt ourselves.
Mhm.
We
And
shrink.
what does that even mean when you say they got it all together? Because we just see them from the outside.
Exactly.
We just see them from the outside.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes me back again to childhood. Growing up where you had, different um, women that we were around that we thought they were it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So you got to kind of instill it, not just in yourself, Sean or Tracy. We need to instill it in our children, our children,
Anybody
our
we have in contact.
grandchildren, our nieces and our nephews to
Right.
know that you are just as important. Like you said, when you walk into that room, you could walk in a room with a CEO. You can walk in a room with a best-selling author, feel just as important as they are. Because
Absolutely.
these people shouldn't make you feel less than. I always say
'Cause
that. It
you
doesn't
are
matter
who
what it
you
says after
are.
your name. You shouldn't make me feel less than a manager, a
Right.
supervisor. You
Right.
shouldn't talk down to me because I'm the cashier. I should make myself feel just as important as you.
Right. Period. Period. But that all comes down to our childhood, what was told to us, what we believe in ourselves. It only takes one conversation with one person to deflate your balloon. You know what I mean? If one person says, "You think you this, that, and the other,"
Mhm.
or
Yeah, children can be
something,
mean.
right? Not even children. I'm talking adults. Adults,
Well, we
because
do
if you
have to
think
choose our words
right,
as
we have to
adults.
choose our words. But when you talk about social media, let's go to social media, right? I haven't had any, instances where someone said something negative per se.
Hmm.
If so, I missed it. Whatever. I don't know, because I don't concentrate on that type of stuff, right? But when you think about people that they call them trolls,
Okay.
they call them trolls when a person will say something negative about whatever it was, your content, and that person, your psyche hones in on that.
That's
You got a
exactly why I don't
million,
have social media, though.
yeah, but it doesn't
I,
happen
I
all the
need to,
time.
no, it doesn't, but I do need to get back into social media. But I think that's one of my issues because I don't want to see that negativity. But you said about the trolls. Some people wake up every morning to live just to find something negative to say about you.
But I don't know. I've never been that person to concentrate on the negative
I
people.
think that's awesome. You just said you don't see it, and
Yeah.
if it's there, you don't concentrate on it.
Right.
And I think that's a mindset.
Right.
That's
It is a
mental
mindset.
because you have
Going
to
back to
know.
mental health,
Yes,
right?
right. But it has to be because you hear a lot about negative things that people say, and that will shape a person. If you're constantly telling somebody negative things about them, sometimes that's what they horn in on. So they walk away with that and they start to doubt themselves.
Well, and
So
then we go back to kids, right? Whatever you tell your child, you are the most influential person for your child, right? So if you tell your child every morning you are a king or you are a queen or you are a prince or you're a princess, right? Every morning you can be whatever it is that you want to be, and always tell them have a great day. I love you. This that all of those words. Nobody can penetrate that. You know what I'm saying? Like what Manny said in our interview. He said his mother pounded it in his head that knowledge is power, and you can be and do whatever it is that you want to be. And whatever it is that you put your mind to, that is powerful. And if somebody's telling you that consistently, you may not understand it as a kid, but as you get older, it keeps coming back to you.
well, let me tell you what I did yesterday. And I'm going to slap my hand, but I'm going to say it because this is the honest to goodness truth. We were at my granddaughter's birthday party yesterday, and my grandson was there. And My nephew said something to him. I don't remember exactly what my nephew said to him, but my grandson is 8 years old. And the way he responded, I said, "Oh, why'd you answer like a nerd?"
Mm.
And as soon as it left my lips,
Mm.
I said, "I can't believe you just said that to this
Mm.
8-year-old little boy."
Mm.
My grandson looked at me and said, "So what's wrong with being a nerd?"
Exactly.
I said, "High five." I said, "You are absolutely right, and I'm 100% wrong for even saying that to you." So he knows who he is at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And grandma, you can call me a nerd, but
But
I'm okay
I'm
with it.
okay with it.
You know?
That's right.
But I that again, what you say to kids.
What you say to kids.
And there's
Yes.
nothing wrong with being a nerd.
Not at all.
And I didn't even when it left my lips though, I said, "Oh, Tracy, really?"
Yeah.
But when he looked at me and said,
What's wrong with that?
"What's wrong with being a nerd?" Egg on my face.
Yep.
But
Yep.
again, watch your words.
Yep.
Watch your words.
Absolutely.
He didn't take it as a negative. It was so, I kudos to him for that
Right,
at
right,
8 years old.
Right. So, we could keep going and going and going. We really can keep going and going and going.
Definitely.
But top thing that you want someone to take away from this episode.
Take care of yourself. Because if you can't take care of you first, you cannot take care of anybody else. And we tend to forget that.
Yes.
Self first.
Yes, self first. So that goes back to my tagline too.
I know, and I almost said it.
You should have.
I almost said it, and I said, "Oop, nope."
Go ahead and
it's
say
your
it.
tagline. Say it.
You can still say it's our tagline.
It's your
if you don't
tagline.
take care of your body, where are you going to live?
Yes.
So check us out. Share, like,
comment
on this episode, on any of our episodes.
Yes, please.
Share it, because these conversations are not just for us. It's not because
they're
we can
not.
rant all day long, but
Yep.
we just want to share, some of our thoughts and the things that
has affected our lives.
Yeah. And hopefully this encourages someone. Hopefully encourages someone to step out there. If start with self-motivating books, self-help books.
Yes.
Call for therapy. And therapy is not only when you're going through a trauma,
Exactly.
or if you're upset or whatever.
It's an
there
outlet. It's an outlet.
It's just a tool. Start building your toolbox for healthy living.
There you go.
Healthy living for you, not no one else. Your toolbox is only for you.
Yes.
So what goes in that toolbox is what you will use. That makes a big difference too. What you will use.
Yes.
All right. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. Have a great
good day.